Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras, here with ILTV's Morning Briefing. After meeting with top Jewish leaders in the United States on Sunday, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday addressed their concerns over the struggle between the Orthodox and the Reform Jews in Israel. Quote, "There's a struggle for the recognition of the Reform movement in Israel and to limit the power of the chief rabbinate," he said. "This struggle we won't solve. There is a struggle, I don't hide it, it's a fact. This struggle has been going on for many years, no government has changed it," end quote. The struggle to limit power of the chief rabbinate is indeed a battle that's been around for a long time, and it refers to the religious monopoly in Israel. Arguments against the rabbinate make claims of discrimination and politically motivated actions by a body that is self-elected and essentially full of hardline conservative rabbis. The chief rabbinate, which does control religious matters like marriage, divorce, burial, and conversion, argues that they are keeping the traditional Jewish character of the state intact. Regardless, what remains clear is that major reform initiatives like the Western Wall egalitarian prayer space have been dropped even before implementation, despite being passed by a Democratic vote. A move Netanyahu not only defended, but claims opposition groups would have privately endorsed too, had it given them power in a coalition. Speaking in New York yesterday, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu and United States President Trump outlined their surprisingly positive outlook on a number of key issues. President Trump began by welcoming Netanyahu and then stating how optimistic he is about helping Israel and the Palestinian Authority reach a deal. He said a peace agreement, quote, "would be a fantastic achievement, and that we are giving it an absolute go. I think there's a chance that it could happen," end quote. Netanyahu, who's expected to speak before the United Nations General Assembly in New York later today, started by describing how the relationship between Israel and the US has never been deeper and stronger, before continuing on to the usual topics at hand. Netanyahu said he looks, quote, "forward to discussing how to address together what Trump rightly called a terrible nuclear deal with Iran, and how to roll back Iran's growing aggression in the world, especially in Syria," end quote. The Prime Minister then expressed his agreement that a peace with the Palestinians and indeed the whole Arab world was possible, and that he looks forward to working with President Trump to find and seize the moment when it arises. Netanyahu is expected to raise these topics again during his speech to the international community this evening at the UN. The Israel on Campus Coalition organization has just released their 2016-2017 year-end report on campus tolerance of pro-Israel attitudes, and the results are grim. According to the report, quote, "despite an overall decline in BDS campaigns targeting Israel of nearly 40%, anti-Israel efforts at American colleges and universities strengthened in sophistication and intensity. With increasing support from professional groups, student activists led aggressive initiatives attacking and delegitimizing Israel," end quote. Essentially, less BDS activity overall, but much more targeted and effective. One of the largest differences that the Israel on Campus Coalition, or ICC, pointed out was that the BDS activists also, quote, "focused their efforts beyond the student community. In targeted appeals to trustees and campus officials, students encouraged academic institutions to divest from Israel. These initiatives reflect important changes in anti-Israel outreach efforts, with students seeking to expand the influence of BDS activism," end quote. Despite the bad news, though, the ICC at least finished on a very positive note, drawing attention to all the gains the pro-Israel community has made, as well as illustrating strategies to continue the good work. Among the pro tips was to continue coalition building within the community and through intersectionality, as well as documenting, exposing, and discouraging anti-Israel activism, as organizations like the Canary Mission aim to do. Overall, it looks like a positive trend may be just beyond reach for now. 3 Arab East Jerusalem teens have just been sentenced to jail terms for the attempted murder by stabbing of 2 elderly Jewish women. 2 of the 3 teens from the Jabal Mukaber neighborhood in East Jerusalem were handed down 18-year prison sentences for carrying out the attack. The third will sit in jail for 25 months on charges of conspiracy to commit a crime and obstruction of justice for aiding in the attack. Upon his arrest just a week after the attack took place, he told police he didn't take part in the actual stabbing for fear that it would cause his parents' house to be destroyed, a common response to terror attacks. The attack in question took place on May 10, 2016, when the 2 attackers approached a group of 5 elderly Israeli women walking on the Armon HaNatziv promenade in Jerusalem. They stabbed 2 of the women, aged 82 and 86, before fleeing the scene. One of the victims was a Holocaust survivor, but luckily both were only in moderate condition and survived the attack. The Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah, is tomorrow, and falling in line with tradition, the White House has issued its annual blessing. An official White House video published Monday features the president alone, wishing a sweet, healthy, and peaceful year on behalf of all Americans. The president explained that, quote, Jewish communities across the country and around the world enter into a time of prayer, repentance, and rededication to the sacred values and traditions that guide the incredible character and spirit of the Jewish people. We reaffirm the unbreakable bond between the United States and Israel, and we ask God to deliver justice, dignity, and peace on earth, end quote. The well wishes couldn't come at a better time, too, since Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu is now in New York with President Trump, getting ready for his speech at the United Nations General Assembly. Netanyahu is expected to discuss many hot-button topics from Iranian and North Korean aggression to regional stability, peace with the Palestinians, and more. If this speech is to yield the intended result, Netanyahu will need all the well wishes we can send. That's all for now. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.